Everything you have been told about humanity's next home among the stars is a beautiful, calculated lie. Scientists championed it. Influencers worshipped it. The internet crowned Proxima B as our second Earth, our cosmic backup plan. But in the next 15 minutes, I will prove that stepping onto Proxima B would be humanity's final, irreversible mistake. In August 2016, astronomers made an announcement that sent the entire scientific world into a frenzy of desperate hope. A rocky planet, roughly the same mass as Earth, found orbiting the nearest star to our entire solar system. Not hundreds of light years away, not thousands, just 4.2, close enough to almost taste the promise. They named it Proxima Centauri B, and with that name came a dream humanity had been chasing for centuries. A second Earth. A world where oceans could shimmer, where rain could fall, where lungs could finally breathe. On paper, Proxima B passes every single test that makes a planet habitable, every one of them, without hesitation. Habitable zone confirmed. This planet orbits at exactly the right distance for liquid water to pool on its surface. Rocky surface confirmed. Not a gas giant, not a frozen wasteland. Solid ground, like the Earth beneath your feet right now. It has a mass of 1.07 times of Earth's. You would weigh almost exactly the same standing on its surface as you do this very moment. But here is a question that should truly bother you. Why does every single simulation of this planet end in total extinction? Because behind every beautiful number on that perfect checklist hides something scientists rarely say out loud in public interviews. The habitable zone sounds like a golden guarantee of paradise. But the zone itself tells you absolutely nothing about actual survival. Venus sits inside our own sun's habitable zone. And Venus is a sulfuric acid hellscape where solid lead melts like warm butter. Proxima B has the right mass, the right distance, the right composition, but the right ingredients mean nothing with the wrong chef. And the chef, the star that is cooking this planet every single day, is something no headline ever prepared you for. But we will get to that nightmare in a moment. First, you need to remember two small words: tidal locking. Hold on to them. Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our sun, a red dwarf barely larger than Jupiter, flickering 4 light years away in silence. If our sun was a roaring bonfire lighting up an entire football stadium, Proxima Centauri would be a single flickering birthday candle. Tiny, dim, almost pathetic, really. You would think a star this small and faint would be gentle, quiet, and nurturing. You would be catastrophically wrong, because Proxima Centauri is not a nurturing parent star. It is a warden running a cosmic prison. Every few hours, without warning, this little candle throws a tantrum that makes our sun look like a sleeping infant by comparison. Stellar flares, massive eruptions of magnetic energy that tear across the void of space at nearly the speed of light. Our sun produces flares too, but our sun sits 93 million miles away, and Earth carries a magnetic shield to protect us. Proxima B orbits 25 times closer to its star than Earth orbits the sun. 25 times closer. Let that distance settle in. The radiation slamming into Proxima B's surface is roughly 400 times more intense than anything Earth has ever experienced or survived. To put that into perspective, the most radiation-resistant organism ever found on Earth is a bacterium called Deinococcus radiodurans, a biological tank. A single superflare from Proxima Centauri delivers 65 times the radiation needed to kill even that nearly indestructible microscopic survivor. Not weaken, not damage, annihilate. And these superflares do not happen once a century. They erupt multiple times every single year. But the radiation is only the appetizer on this menu. The main course is something far worse: coronal mass ejections. Massive walls of charged plasma that slam into Proxima B and do not just irradiate the surface, they peel away the atmosphere. Atom by atom, layer by layer, like cosmic sandpaper grinding away the only shield standing between life and the freezing void. Now, you are probably thinking Proxima B must have a magnetic field like Earth to deflect all of this. That is a fair and logical thought, and honestly, I wish the science backed you up on that one. But here is the problem no one discusses at astronomy conferences. A planet needs to spin to generate a magnetic field. Earth rotates once every 24 hours, one full spin, one complete day. Proxima B likely does not spin at all. And that brings us right back to those two words you were asked to remember earlier: tidal locking. That quiet, innocent little detail that every optimistic headline about Proxima B conveniently forgets to explain to you. Proxima B orbits so close to its star that gravity has grabbed this world by the face and frozen it in place forever. One hemisphere faces the star in perpetual scorching daylight, an endless blazing noon where no sunset will ever bring relief. The other hemisphere faces away into perpetual freezing darkness, no warmth, no starlight, just an infinite, silent black winter stretching forever. No sunrise will ever paint that sky with color. No season will ever shift. No morning will ever dawn for half this world. Land on the day side, and you burn until nothing remains. Land on the night side, and you freeze until molecular motion itself simply stops. But surely, right between those two screaming extremes, there must exist a sweet spot, a narrow strip of livable twilight along the edge. Scientists call it the Terminator line, a thin ribbon of land caught between the domain of eternal fire and eternal ice. And theoretically, temperatures along that strip could allow liquid water to exist. Theoretically, that word is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, because what the Terminator line also delivers is a permanent wall of wind screaming across the planet at 300 kilometers per hour. Not occasional gusts or seasonal storms, a perpetual, unending, relentless hurricane carved permanently into the very geography of this planet. 300 kilometers per hour without pause, enough raw force to rip the lungs from your chest before your brain registers any pain. So the only habitable strip on this supposedly habitable planet would shred you into scattered particles faster than any stellar flare ever could. And here is where this story turns genuinely tragic, because Proxima B might have actually been beautiful once, billions of years ago. Before Proxima Centauri settled into its dim and angry middle age, it burned through a luminous, violent childhood, brighter and far hotter. During that early phase, young Proxima B sat far too close to a star that burned far too bright for it to survive. Its oceans, if they ever existed at all, did not slowly evaporate over gentle millions of years. They boiled violently, mercilessly, and completely. A runaway greenhouse effect turned the entire surface into a pressure cooker of superheated steam, choking any possibility of life before it began. Hydrogen atoms ripped from water molecules and flung into the void, trillion by trillion, hour after hour, for hundreds of millions of years. By the time the star calmed down enough for the habitable zone to even make scientific sense, there was nothing left to inhabit. The celebration was over long before the guests arrived, and no one in the universe even bothered to send an apology for it. Now step back with me and look at the full picture spread out before us. Every beautiful fact about Proxima B wears a mask. Habitable zone, that is the same zone that cooked its oceans into oblivion before life ever had a single chance to emerge. Rocky surface, irradiated rock, bombarded by superflares 65 times deadlier than what kills the toughest known organism on our planet. Earth-like mass, just enough gravity to hold you firmly down, while the star above slowly peels away every single molecule of breathable air. Closest exoplanet to Earth, 4.2 light years. Sounds wonderfully poetic until you actually sit down and do the real math. Our fastest spacecraft ever built, the Parker Solar Probe, screams through space at 635,000 kilometers per hour. At that absolutely record-shattering speed, reaching Proxima B would still take roughly 6,600 years of continuous travel. And with the technology we actually use for deep space exploration, Voyager-class speeds, the journey stretches to 75,000 years. 75,000 years. To put that in perspective, all of human civilization, every empire, every war, spans roughly 10,000 years. We would need to survive as a species 7 times longer than civilization itself has existed just to reach a planet that kills on arrival. The cruelest trick the universe ever played was placing our nearest hope just close enough to dream about, but permanently out of reach. And this is the moment where this story stops being about a distant exoplanet, because honestly, Proxima B was never the real point. The point is us. The point is why we desperately romanticize a radioactive, windswept, boiling nightmare and dare to call it our hope. We look at Proxima B through our telescopes and somehow see paradise. We look at Earth through our windows and see something replaceable. Think about that for a moment. The only confirmed habitable world in the known universe is the one we are currently setting on fire. We do not need Proxima B. We never actually did. What we need is to stop treating Earth like it has a replacement next door. Because it does not. 4 light years in every direction, there is nothing waiting but silence, radiation, and worlds designed to kill you fast. Proxima B is not our salvation waiting across the stars. It is a mirror, a beautiful, terrible mirror, reflecting our own desperate denial. We have spent decades scanning the sky with billions of dollars, searching for somewhere else to flee to after we break this world beyond repair. And the closest candidate we found, the very best one among 4,000 known exoplanets, is a tidally locked, irradiated, scorched, frozen nightmare. Maybe the universe is not hiding a backup Earth from us somewhere out there. Maybe it has been screaming the answer this entire time. We spent decades searching for a second Earth 4 light years away. The only Earth was always the one beneath our feet, and we are burning it.